What's up, guys? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to talk about Machine Gun Kelly's Half Naked and Almost Famous EP. So this was the first official album almost that you could find in stores. It was an EP, but it came out several months before Lace Up. And the thing about that was it was kind of like testing the waters as far as Machine Gun Kelly having music out. And I think honestly, it's been kind of said, I've gone to like Sputnik and websites like that talking about how they said Machine Gun Kelly, his mixtapes were better than his albums were for the most part. And I kind of felt that way with General Admission. Bloom was not that good, but I think Hotel Diablo is going to be pretty slick. And then on top of that, I'd also have to say that Lace Up was better than average. It may not have been superb, but it was at least above average. And so with this, Binge kind of redeemed himself quite a bit. I still listen to that now. Rap Devil is a pretty sinister song, but this Half Naked and Almost Famous EP, it kind of, you'd think it doesn't have a lot going for it just because it takes half its songs almost from Rage Pack, the mixtape, and it takes the other half from what was going to be on Lace Up later that year. So there's really only one song that you can't find anywhere else, which is EST for Life. Luckily, that song is good. So obviously, I could score this EP like a 2 out of 10 just because of that, but it's pretty much going to get a 7 just because the songs that they chose were it was at least a good taste. Just if you need like a quick dose of Machine Gun Kelly, it's good enough to do. So the single was Wild Boy, which actually charted in 2011 off his Rage Pack mixtape. And the other song off that, well, there actually were 3 songs off of Rage Pack. Wild Boy was on Rage Pack, Warning Shot was on Rage Pack, and then Half Naked and Almost Famous was on Rage Pack. Now, the Half Naked and Almost Famous song to me is the second best song on this project, just because it just kind of has like a real just youthful and rambunctious vibe to it that just feels good, especially in the warmer months of the year. It just feels like a pretty good song to cruise out to, get some fast food to, some shit like that. Warning Shot, I can tell that song was kind of geared towards the women. And Cassie, if you remember her, she's an R&B singer. She only dropped like one album, but she does the hook for that. And yeah, I mean, so it does try to appeal to a broader audience, but Machine Gun Kelly does have the occasional song for women. I think See My Tears was trying to be like that also, but uh, that one was like the only song I didn't completely like on this EP. I mean, I know Wild Boy, but I would just prefer to buy Lace Up, just that album, just because it's one of the best songs off Lace Up, but I wouldn't buy that for this. So it's nice that it's here, but I wish he would have put a different song on there. There probably should have been at least 6 or 7 songs on this project. I mean, it felt like the Rage Pack songs, considering that just came out. I think really it should have been some extra ones. I mean, 5 songs is pretty brief. I mean, that's the thing about it. So I mean, if you bought Lace Up, there's really almost no point to buying this project, but you can basically get like Warning Shot and Half Naked and Almost Famous. Both of those is the official, remastered versions of those kind of work out. But then also to talk about EST for Life, that one has a nice beat, probably has the best beat on here besides like Wild Boy. And I mean, it really kind of comes as like a posse cut. I don't know who this Dubo or Dubbo guy is, but obviously it was decent. It probably could have been better if it would have had, another someone else on there. It seemed like I've heard Machine Gun Kelly talk about EST before, but he hasn't really mentioned like who's involved with that too much. So I was almost curious as to what he meant by that. So it was just kind of under established, 7 years later, just not that in reference too much, but yeah, it doesn't detract away from the song. It still is a pretty smooth song. I'm looking on Spotify, that's the song that got the least amount of plays, but it's still pretty slick, I would say. And Wild Boy is the most popular, but I mean, you have three different ways to hear that song. You know, you can get it off Rage Pack, you can get it off this EP, or you can get it off Lace Up. So either way, it shows how good the song actually is. And you know, then the Half Naked and Almost Famous song is just kind of, you know, that to me is like the second best song on here. It's really a top three, but that would be basically how it goes. So I would say Wild Boy, Half Naked and Almost Famous, EST for Life, Warning Shot, and then See My Tears. But, you know, out of those five songs, I basically recommend to you four of them. So check out the title track. It's pretty rambunctious, and then EST for Life feels like a posse cut. You know, despite there's only two folks on there, in addition to the DJ who's at the end. So the Warning Shot, you know, that's for the ladies, kind of, you know, more pop oriented. I mean, MGK kind of did that in the past, but that's the main thing there. So yeah, so I give this EP like a 7. My biggest problem with it is just the fact that it probably should have had like a song or two more than it did. You know, just to show off some more hits off a Rage Pack. I'd definitely say that it needed like some extra, because I was under the impression I downloaded Rage Pack last year, but I don't remember it that well. I basically have those songs that are on this EP on my MP3 player, so it's kind of, you know, those are about the only ones I really remember. But I would have liked to have seen some extra ones just to know what's going on there. So, but yeah, we just needed more songs from Rage Pack and maybe just like a couple spare songs on top of that. I mean, obviously it's 7 years later, so it's like, well, you know, what happened happened. But I mean, really, this is just kind of, it's just like an extra kick of MGK just if you want to support him. It's not so much like this is definitive, like it's a must have thing. It just seems to me more like a supportive type thing. Because really, the smart person, or at least someone who's trying to save some money, could just go and download Rage Pack, and that's all you need. That's over half of the songs on there. So it just depends upon how much you want to support them. That's kind of the main thing. I mean, EST for Life is pretty much worth the purchase just for that, but then I would also get the title track along with it. So it's kind of the thing. It's your choice if you want to spend the money, but I just think I would do it. But the whole damn thing is it's kind of undersatisfying, is what I'm trying to say. You know, you might as well just get Rage Pack and then just buy the songs you want individually. But it still gets a 7 just because it's quality music. So subscribe for more fun.